Hi, thanks for joining me. Today, we're looking at the manufacturer Colonial Cutlery Company out of Providence, Rhode Island. Colonial Cutlery was founded by three brothers in Rhode Island in 1926. It was seen as a reliable mid-range cutlery brand with a good reputation. In addition to pocket knives, Colonial crafted popular kitchen knives and knives for specialty industries. At its peak in the 1950s, Colonial had a solid following among consumers and became widely recognized and distributed in department stores and cutlery shops across the United States. When I started putting the Colonial items together, I actually considered skipping this manufacturer. The time I'd put into it is probably worth more than the knives. A few are worth looking at, and I have no idea what people like or not. So for the sake of completeness, the oldest knife here is the drop point fixed blade from the 1939 World's Fair, which was held in Queens, New York, in Flushing Meadows Corona Park. The fair's theme was the world of tomorrow, lots of hope and optimism for the future. This was just pre-World War II, of course. Colonial had been around for 13 years at the time of the fair. These are the Perisphere and Trilon. The Trilon was 610 feet tall. You could actually go into the Perisphere. It was a big, solid white sphere with a futuristic diorama inside. It had moving sidewalks and escalators, which was pretty cool at the time. Worth checking that out if you haven't seen it, but here I'm just going to look at this knife. It does seem to be a unique one for sure. I couldn't find any other reference to it. I spent an hour, maybe two, with this knife. Didn't spend too long looking for other instances of it, but I didn't find any. So all I can really tell is what I can see from looking at it. The fair ran for 2 seasons. It's either a 39 or a 40. Carbon steel, non-stainless blade. The blade's got a pretty cool shape. It's definitely hand-forged. I can tell from the guard. It was made as cheap as possible. There's only 4 parts to this knife. There's the steel, which is the blade, guard, and runs full tang for the handle. Then they glued a light thin wood to each side. Topped it with a layer of printed celluloid and hand-riveted brass to the tang. So made on the cheap, probably came with a very basic sheath and cost like $1 at the fair, which would be like $25 today. Somebody got their money's worth. It's been used and a little bit of sharpened. I think it gives it some character. I'm going to say this is my favorite of the Colonials I have. The handle is in good shape. There's no damage there. The celluloid's actually doing pretty good. The printing is on the inside, so it's not worn off at all. And it's a very recognizable, rare, and authentic piece of American history. And then from the same period, I have this 1940 advertising knife made by Colonial for the Rebecca chapter number 214. It says OES, which I had to research. This is the Order of the Eastern Star, which is a Masonic organization. I didn't fully understand it. It just doesn't grab my interest. But Order of the Eastern Star is some sort of alternative Masonic that allows females to join. Rebecca in this context is some sort of biblical figure. When I Google this one, it appears to be all female and also all African-American females, at least in modern day. The knife itself is a miniature celluloid jackknife. It's cheaply made to begin with, but it's in good shape. The parts just all seem cheap. The handle's a cheap yellow cracked ice celluloid. The printing is in good shape. Brass pins and liner and little tiny nickel silver bolsters. The main blade's a clip point, and it's also in good shape, just a little rust maybe from the celluloid. There's no half stops, and the blade's really tough to get full open. I don't know if it's the spring or the joint, but there's one spot where it's hard to get past it, and that goes both ways. Then there's a secondary pen blade with a long pull. It's got this little bail, but that also doesn't move well. Cheap knife. Almost didn't include it, but it's in good shape, so there it is. Next is this novelty boy's knife. It's got Davy Crocket under celluloid. The knife itself is a jackknife. The handle's very dark. I think it's a celluloid problem. It might be going bad. It's got some good shrink going at both sides, and at the right angle, I can see it eating at the picture a little. There's Davy. I didn't know he was Asian. He was a real person, unlike the Lone Ranger or other 50s heroes, Batman. The other side's also shrinking. The others that I found on the internet also just have a black scale on the back. I'm going to set this aside for now with ones to keep an eye on. It may be gassing. The blades have a little bit of rust at the bottom, and the scales don't look that great. The blades aren't unused. They're not that bad. Some use, some sharpening. The secondary is a pop cap lifter and a flathead screwdriver for all of your King of the Wild Frontier needs. The only problem with it is possibly the celluloid handle. And then two more similar ones, just hoping to quickly go over them. This one is a white composite Colonial Ranger jackknife. And Colonial's Rangers were a higher end line, similar to Schrade's Old Timers or Imperial's Frontier. This is an Advertiser. It was dated to 1967 from its patent number, making it about 60 years old. There's a logo here, says Big M Seed or McCurdy Seed Company. Rangers typically used, like this one, unfinished 1075 carbon steel, which is known for keeping an edge and being easy to sharpen, but it lacks chromium. It's not resistant to corrosion, and the blades here have rust along the spines and the back side of the blades, both of them. The tang says Ranger Providence, USA. No mention of Colonial on this one. Otherwise, it's etched as Ranger Ultra Honed. Honed meaning it's as sharp as possible. It's been sharpened precisely with progressively finer abrasives, and they are very sharp blades. Other than that, there's no problems with this knife. And last, then I'm going to look over this Barlow. It's another Advertiser from another seed company. This one says Super Crost Seeds, also dated to the late 60s from its patent number. The Barlow's are red acrylic, seems well constructed, it's heavy. The outside has some wear and scratches if you look at it right. It's not in perfect shape. It does look really good though. The blades are real nice. A standard Barlow clip and pen. And the patent here was figured out by my dad on the All About Pocket Knives forums. I found a post he made about this, so I don't know how it was dated, but late 60s is what I read. Not much really to say about this one. Pretty standard Barlow. That's why I saved it for last. And that's all I've got from Colonial out of Providence, Rhode Island. They aren't the most expensive or sought-after knives, but they are an integral part of American cutlery history, so thanks for checking them out with me. There's not a lot of D's and E's coming up, so soon I'm looking at a large Fighting Rooster series. I've got 40 or more really gorgeous Rooster Stockmen circa 1980 coming up this week. So if you'd like to see those and hundreds of other knives from my late father's knife collection, feel free to subscribe and join me, or check out some of my other videos.